call that?
All right, cool.
The coin don't have no say. It's just you.
Well, I got here the same way the coin did.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 confusing movie endings explained.
The cop has some serious problems that he's tried to bury down there, and I'm not about to just open my mind to someone like that.
For this list, we'll be attempting to explain various movie endings that left viewers frustrated and confounded. Naturally, this entails a lot of spoilers. What do you make of these endings? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, No Country for Old Men.
Oh, it started off with
Adapted
this.
nearly word for word from Cormac McCarthy's novel No Country for Old Men is based...
So you haven't seen this, right?
No. I haven't seen one punch of it.
So, all right, how we want to do this? You want you want to spoil it before you even see it? Jump right on. Yeah, this is what's this, A.n.A? I think it is. Oh, you see? Yeah, you seen that one?
Yeah.
Okay, this I don't understand this movie at all, actually. So, all right, yeah, let's pick it up here.
I'm not gonna
Famous for his sci-fi epics, Denis Villeneuve directed a Canadian drama called A.n.A. In the movie's famous provocative ending, Adam goes to tell Helen that he's leaving, only to find a gigantic spider in her place.
Helen?
I don't understand that at all.
Nope.
The spider cowers against the wall, and Adam sighs in disappointment. The spider is a symbol of Adam's commitment, or more accurately, his lack thereof. He's stuck in Helen's metaphorical webs, so he sees her as a creature that generates literal webs.
Are you lying to me?
What? So
You're lying to me.
But even more important is the spider's reaction.
No.
It recoils in fear because Helen discovers the startling truth of Adam's infidelity.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
I think you know.
Adam realizes that he has hurt Helen and that he cannot commit, so he sighs in resigned defeat. Number 8, Life of Pi.
what? What? That okay, that threw me. So essentially every time he sees her, he sees that giant spider, is what they're saying. That don't make sense though.
I think that's how he sees it at the end. Everything is inspired. I don't know. One so
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Well, okay, that was wild.
This movie is based
I still
on
don't
Dan
understand it.
Martell's novel of the same name, which was the recipient of the esteemed
I'll
Man
come
Booker
to you.
Prize.
And then Jabarka, my fierce companion, the terrible one that kept me alive,
I haven't seen this since it came out, I think.
disappeared forever from my life.
The ending is ripped straight from the novel, presenting two different scenarios. One scenario is what we saw with Pi and the animals. In the second and arguably more realistic scenario, the animals are replaced with humans.
So, the hyena is the cook, the sailor is the zebra, your mother is the orangutan, and you're the tiger.
The older Pi then asks the writer which story he prefers, and both he and the insurance agents like the animal version better. The movie isn't about which version is right, but how the viewer became enraptured by an imaginative story. It teaches us about the power of faith and believing in the improbable, even if a more realistic outcome is presented.
So which story do you prefer?
All right.
The one with the tiger.
This is Webflow. Meet the design tool from the future. The most powerful visual
Pass
coding
this
tool,
fool.
coupled with the most...
Number 7, The King of Comedy. Martin Scorsese's The King of Comedy bears
yeah,
many
how does
similarities
this
to
end?
Taxi
But this
Driver.
is-
One of the most
'cause
obvious.
this ends like the Joker
ambiguous and
movie, I
dreamlike
think.
ending.
He reported that he had
Like
been
when he
spending
just
his
snaps
time
at
writing
the
his
end and-
memoirs, which had been purchased by a leading New York publishing house for in excess of $1 million.
Rupert is sent to prison following his crimes, but this isn't what we see. What we get instead is Rupert's big comeback as he writes a popular memoir and becomes a successful comedian.
Said he had used his stay at Allenwood to sharpen his material. He said that he and his people were weighing a number of attractive offers and that he looked forward to resuming his show business career.
Unfortunately, we don't know if this actually happened or not. However, it likely occurred in Rupert's head. Many clues have been brought forward that seem to suggest its fantastical nature. This includes Rupert's past daydreams throughout the movie, his prison-like suit, the curtain that looks like prison bars, and the bizarre way the announcer keeps repeating his introduction.
Rupert Pupkin, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Rupert Pupkin.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, it's all the big daydreams, basically. That's
Rupert
what I
wants to be
remember getting
famous,
from it.
and it cost him his freedom. Number 6, Tenet. Viewers need an evidence board, and even for Christopher Nolan, this one is out there.
It is to me. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what is
We learned that
happening?
Neil was actually recruited by a future version of the protagonist, so the protagonist in turn caused the events of the movie to transpire.
Hey, you never did tell me who recruited you, Neil. Haven't you guessed by now? You did.
The protagonist then realizes that he began the Tenet organization, and he kills Priya before she can kill Kat. Essentially, the movie's events were preordained before they even began, as the protagonist set everything up and knew exactly what would happen. The protagonist was pulling the strings the entire time, and he didn't even know it. Darn time manipulation.
But okay, so how he kills Priya, but she has to set it in motion before for him to even come back to do it. It has to be set in motion. That's what's confusing. It's confusing to me.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but like, for him, time is moving forward. He just found out that him in the future is also meaning he's just not there yet.
Yeah, I think you need weed and like a shot or two in order to like to get on this level. You gotta get on this movie's level. You know what I'm saying?
It's not
looking differently at the world.
I have to tie up loose ends.
That was never your job.
Then whose was it?
Mine. I realized I wasn't working for you. We both been working for me.
Number 5, Donnie Darko.
What?
If this list is any indication, Jake Gyllenhaal loves him some confusing.
Yeah, I haven't seen this in a minute.
Like Tenet, Donnie Darko deals with the manipulation of time.
Philosophy of time travel.
Have you seen this one?
Donnie learns that he was supposed to die in the plane crash, and that his survival has opened up an alternate timeline.
I had to see this like twice in order to like
continuum off its
really kind of understand.
Closed in order to save
And in order for the vessel to travel through time, it's got to find a porthole, or in this case, a wormhole. Or
Well, could these portals just appear anywhere, anytime?
I think that's highly unlikely.
And in order for it to be closed, Donnie has to die in the plane crash. So that's exactly what he does. Donnie travels back in time and sacrifices himself for the good of the universe, allowing himself to be crushed by the falling jet engine.
Oh, is that what happened? Wait, was that real though?
No.
Number 4. The ambiguity of Blade Runner is compounded by multiple factors.
All those moments will be lost in time.
For starters,
this should have been in my personal top 10. I don't know why I didn't think of this one in my personal top 10. I love this movie.
Ford believes that Deckard is however, Scott has said that Deckard is a replicant.
She doesn't know.
Yeah.
She's beginning to suspect, I think. Suspect? How can it not know what it is?
That seems to be the end of the argument as Scott directed the film. This is made even more evident in the director's cut from 1992, which shows Deckard receiving a paper unicorn from Eduardo Gaff. While most of the evidence points to Deckard being a replicant, the ending continues to be debated to this day.
It's too bad she won't live. But then again, who does?
Number 3, Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, I think they hinted pretty heavy at Deckard being a replicant in that. You know, and that's why I think like when it first came out, the original one, like was it Ridley Scott? I think who directed that. I remember him saying he was really pissed at the cut because like it kind of messed up the movie, how they like cut out a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, that's one of my all time faves. But this movie here, Mulholland Drive. Have you seen this one?
Nope. Never heard of it.
God, see, you're not into like the David Lynch weird movie thing, are you? Because I would say we can review this one for real.
I wouldn't say that. I would say more so not big.
Okay, let's go ahead and watch it. I don't know, because that would be like a whole
People get headaches trying to figure out David
Even
Lynch.
seeing this,
He's
you
just one of
probably
those
still won't
directors that
understand it
places
fully.
atmosphere and tone over straightforward storytelling.
I can see his face. I hope that I never see that face ever outside of a dream.
In the final act of Mulholland Drive, Lynch introduces the characters of Diane and Camilla, who are carbon copies of Betty and Rita. The leading theory is that most of Mulholland Drive takes place inside Diane's adult mind.
You sure you want this?
More than anything in this world.
She imagines a better life for herself, one in which she's happy and fresh-faced rather than washed up and jaded. In the real world, Diane hires a hitman to kill Camilla, and when this is done, she shoots herself out of grief. The end.
When it's finished, you'll find this where I told you.
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone.
Number 2, Inception.
Okay, see that. Okay, I like that because they didn't say a thing, right? They didn't really explain what was happening in there. Well, I mean, they explained what was happening, but that movie would take you at least five times watching that to kind of get what's going on. Because David Lynch, he directs movies like an asshole, where he'll like intentionally put in whole sequences that make no sense and just seem like it's completely out of the blue. But there's like one detail in that sequence that like connects to the overall story, you know? Some people love it, some people hate it. I kind of like it, even though I can understand why people hate that movie, because sometimes it seems like a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the hell did I watch? None of this makes sense. But it's one of those, like, after about two or three times, you actually kind of get what it was going for.
For Nolan appears again.
I
This
don't
time the answer is a little more straightforward. For Inception,
Who does? I don't know who. Or maybe just the thing wobbles at the end that throw people off or something.
It's not confusing. It's just clear keep the ending up. I'm not confused.
Dom Cobb returns home to his children and spins the top to determine if he's dreaming or not. But when he catches a glimpse of his kids, he abandons the top and runs to them. We don't know if Cobb is dreaming or not, but that isn't the point. The point is that Cobb intentionally chooses to abandon his totem. Dream or not, Cobb is deciding what is real for him.
You're just a shade.
The train thing doesn't matter. We'll get together. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're just not good enough.
His reality is entirely subjective, and he's deciding to live in a reality with his children.
Yeah, so it's debatable if it's real or not. But the whole thing is it wobbles, like right before it cuts out. So that's what like.
I know the women is that like it's real to him and therefore it's real. But like if he is dreaming, his children still give a out of life. Yeah. Grow with that because this man out here is my life and shit.
They're gonna stay children like forever, which I don't know. As a parent, that's not a bad thing. That's not horrible. I kind of feel him on that. All right. Well.
Number 1, 2001, A Space Odyssey. Everyone knows the ending to this film, even those who haven't actually seen it.
It's pretentious and bloated, but I don't know. It's got some good stuff in there.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Bowman is pulled into some sort of interdimensional vortex, quickly turns into an old man, and then reaches for the monolith before transforming into a giant space fetus watching over Earth.
What?
Yeah.
No.
It sounds like Stanley Kubrick directed this thing on acid, but there is some meaning behind it. The entire movie is about the evolution of humanity, and this ending explores that concept further. By interacting with the alien monolith, Bowman takes the next step in human evolution and is reborn as the Star Child. The Star Child is then sent back to Earth to help its citizens transcend and unlock the next great evolutionary step in their biology.
I am putting myself to the fullest possible use
which is all I think that any conscious entity can ever hope to do.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this.
I mean, you have to remember they were like, that was the 60s, so they were on like LSD. You know, they were on shrooms. They were on all kinds of stuff, like thinking up of movies and whatnot. So,
I mean, I guess.
yeah, that was because I saw that, of course, because a lot of people just will not shut up about that damn movie, you know. And so I'm like, okay, let me check it out, and yeah, watched it, completely lost. Like, what the hell does this even mean? But there's some cool stuff in there, like Hal, the killer robot, in there that won't let him leave or whatever. That was cool. So,
like Wally.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, what was that 40 years before Wally?
I like
It's an underrated Pixar flick to me. Like Wally's alright. That's cool. Nobody talks about it nowadays.
No. That's because that's too good to talk. Never mind.